Hey guys, John here. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, we're checking out this awesome Legator X8F 8-string fan fret guitar. And let me tell you, this thing is an absolute beast, and it looks really cool too, if you ask me. Now, this is actually the very first Legator that I've ever tried, so I'm excited to tell you guys more about this thing and to show you guys what it can do. So let's start right away with a heavy demo track with this guitar into my new Neural DSP Nano Cortex. Let's take a listen and enjoy. Alright, so that was the Legator X8F through my Neural DSP Nano Cortex. And for the pickup, I used the bridge pickup for the heavy stuff on the active voicing, so voice 1. And for the clean stuff, the neck pickup with the same voicing. And I thought it sounded excellent. Now for the tones on the Nano Cortex, I used some captures from my own capture packs. For the heavy stuff, I used the VH capture of the red channel of my EVH 5153 EL34 50 watt, coupled with an ML SoundLab IR that I created in the Miko 2 plugin. And for the clean tones, I used one of the Fuel 2 captures of the clean channel, which is based on my Diesel VH2 with some effects. And later in the video, we're also going to check out how this guitar sounds through a tube amplifier. Anyway, how did I get this guitar in my studio? Well, some weeks ago, I was at Guitar Summit in Germany, a wonderful convention for guitar nerds like me. And the folks from Musifax, who are the local distributor for Legator, they asked me to take a look at some of their guitars to see if I'd want to review one of them. And I took a look at the wall of guitars that they had there, and some of them weren't exactly my thing. For example, I'm not a fan of headless guitars. You know, I'm not a fan of guitars with the blood splatter finish and stuff. But when I saw this guitar, immediately I was like, that's the one. That's the one I want to review because it looks so damn cool. And in terms of the specs, it's also to my liking. So yeah, those guys sent me this guitar to review. Thank you so much to them. You know who you are. And also thanks to Legator, of course. And spoiler alert, I like this guitar a lot. And I think that I'll be using it quite a lot in the future as well. Now let's go over the specs of the guitar. So obviously, it's an 8-string guitar. They also make this guitar in a 6-string version, a 7-string version, and I believe also a 9-string version. Now this is the version with the blue resin, but they also make them with a purple resin, I believe. So that's also a cool option. Now the X8F has an alder body, And I gotta tell you, it's not super heavy. It has a nice weight, but the balance is good as well, luckily. So there's no neck dive. And obviously, one of the showstoppers of this guitar is the top. It's absolutely beautiful. It has a clear coat, obviously, And this wood over here that's filled up with this resin is made out of solid California buckeye burl. And so it's infused with this epoxy resin over here. So it kind of looks like a desert island with a blue tropical beach or something. I absolutely love it. And I love how the top carries over to the headstock. So that's a nice touch as well. And yeah, obviously, I think it looks gorgeous, and I really can't get enough of how this guitar looks. It's so cool. Now, the wood that they chose is nice and resonant. No complaints there whatsoever, so that's all great. And then we have a bolt-on neck, a 5-piece neck with wenge and 2 maple stripes. I really like the look of this neck and the feel as well. It has a satin finish, so it's super smooth and super fast feeling. It's not the most thin neck I've ever played, but it's definitely not thick either. It's very comfortable, so it's a joy to play, really, in terms of how the neck feels. The fretboard is made out of Richlite, and this is my first guitar ever with a Richlite fretboard, and my impression of the Richlite is actually very positive. It feels very smooth under the fingers, and it just feels very solid. And this guitar also has 24 medium jumbo stainless steel frets. And yeah, the frets are leveled really well, and the fret ends are also very nice and smooth. So overall, my impression of the neck is very good. It plays very nicely indeed. So I was pleasantly surprised by that. Now, obviously, this guitar has a fanned fret neck, okay? That means that the skill length of the bottom string is different than the top string, which is better for playing leads and stuff, and then the tension is a little bit better for playing the low rhythms. I have this guitar tuned to drop E, and it works perfectly for that. Now, the skill length of the low string is 27.5 inches long, which is slightly longer than your average baritone. And then for the high string, we have a skill length of 26.5 inches. So that's a little bit better for bending and stuff. And as I said, this guitar is tuned to drop E, and I have my favorite strings on it, which are Elixirs, 74 for the low E, then a 54 for the low B, and a standard set of 9s for the other 6 strings. On the headstock, we have some locking tuners, which are nice. These are just kind of like Legator locking tuners. And the headstock looks pretty cool too, if you ask me. I like the shape and I like the finish, as I said. And this guitar has been crafted in Korea. Now, I'm not sure what the material is of the nut, but it was cut properly aside from one string. Now, mind you, when I got this guitar, the gauges of the strings were thicker, and I didn't really notice an issue, but when I put on my own strings, the low B string started to rattle a little bit on the open note. Upon adjusting the action and stuff, it made me realize that the nut slot was a little bit too low for this string, so I had to raise it a little bit with some super glue, and that fixed the issue, and it's perfect now, but I did want to mention that, okay? And that's the only issue on this guitar that I encountered, so those types of things just tend to happen sometimes with these import guitars from Indonesia or Korea. It has happened to me more than once, trust me. Anyway, for me, that was an easy fix. Now we have this bridge over here. It's not a hip shot, but it looks like a hip shot. I guess it's just an in-house Legator bridge, and it's very solid indeed. I like it. And then we have one volume control and a 3-way pickup selector, as well as a kill switch with an LED that lights up as soon as you put a cable in it. And I should also mention that the inlays over here on the neck and on the side are loom inlays. Now, the pickups that are in here, of course, are the Fishman Fluence Modern pickups. Love those pickups, especially for an extended range guitar like this. And of course, as with all the Fishman pickups, you can choose between 2 voicings. You have the active voicing, which is voice 1, and then also the passive voicing, which is voice 2. You can access that by pulling up this control over here. One other nice touch is the way that the input jack is recessed over here. So that's cool. And I also like the bevels on the body. It's just a very comfortable guitar to play. What I'd like to do now is let you hear the different sounds that these pickups have to offer in terms of the switching, but also in terms of the voicing of the Fishmans. Let's do that first with a clean tone using the ML Sound Lab Amped Blackout plugin. Check it out. Wonderful, so that's quite a wide range of tones in there. Let's do the same thing, but this time with a heavy distorted tone using the same Amp Sim plugin. Check it out. Wonderful. I don't know about you guys, but I thought it sounded great. Quite versatile indeed. And with the different voicings on the Fishman, you just get a lot more tonal versatility, which is wonderful. So in the intro, I used voice 1 for all the tones. And now I'd like to do another demo, but this time through a tube amplifier with voice 2. So with the passive voicing on the bridge pickup. The amp that I'm going to use is my Soldano SLO-100R with the Lichtlaerm audio, the King in Yellow boost pedal up front. Let's take a listen. Wonderful. Again, that sounded really good. Nice and throaty and punchy and thick and gnarly, and it had all the good things going on. So that was the SLO-100R on the overdrive channel with the Lichtlaerm audio, the King in Yellow boost up front, just to make it a little bit more tight and gnarly sounding. So what are my thoughts on this guitar, the Legator X8F? Well, to be honest, I like this guitar a lot. I haven't had any experience with Legator at all as a brand. I'd never used one of their guitars before. I don't know a lot about the brand, to be honest, but I'm very pleasantly surprised about this guitar, and I'm very pleased about the fact that they sent me this to review and to use on the channel, because I really like this guitar. At first, I loved this guitar just simply because of the look and because of the features, you know, the Fishmans, the fact that it's an 8-string, that it has fanned frets and stuff. Talking about the fanned frets, the fan isn't super extreme, so the angle isn't really like angled, and that makes it very comfortable to play. So the fanning isn't really extreme, so you don't really notice it when you're playing. So that's great, because I don't have a lot of experience with fanned fret guitars at all. In terms of the sound, it sounds really good, as you can hear in the demos. No complaints there. In terms of the feel, it feels very nice indeed. The neck is so smooth, and the fret ends are very nicely rounded off. It just feels like a premium instrument, if you know what I mean. The features are nice. The look is just amazing, stunning, and quite unique. And yeah, I highly recommend checking out this guitar, the Legator X8F. It's a cool instrument, and I dig it. What else can I say? So thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts about this guitar in the comments down below. Thanks so much to the folks at Musifacts for making this happen. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit a like and subscribe down below. That really helps the channel out. I'd really appreciate it. Of course, you can also check out my affiliate links, buy something there at no additional cost, and you get to support the channel, or check out my Ko-Fi web store where I sell my Quad Cortex captures and all that good stuff. And you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, of course. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers!